Hey everybody, this is On Screen, Off Screen, a show where we like to talk about our media intake throughout the week and how it impacts our lives, and also how our lives impact what we watch. We've got Lauren here, who's just the greatest of all time. No, not much more to say about that. And Conlon, who's right sometimes. Um, he's coming around on some things like Lauren, but still not quite there. This episode is one of our reunion episodes where we've all, we started recording about a year ago. And so we're just re upping and updating everybody on kind of where we're at as you get to know us more and more. So this one is our top 10 movies. And as we grow and as we change, and because of this podcast, some of the time it changes our lists as we experience them. Last week we talked about top 10 or top 11 TV shows, and Conlon and I both had one because it was a fan recommendation and because of the experience we had on the show, not necessarily because it was the 10th best show. Um, just to get started, I do have some questions for these two, but I want to make a correction from what I said in our previous episode. Um, Previously, I stated that this was Conlon and Mai's 1 year marker, and Lauren was only about 6 months. I would like to correct that. Lauren, you are also at 1 year. You have been a part of the podcast since the very beginning. A lot of how this show is structured is because of you. You were our first listener. You did our podcast art to start. To me, this is a year for you as well. You're just as big a part of this as Conlon or I, um, and probably would not have continued as well had you
Oh,
not joined. So
okay.
yeah, we're all at 1 year, plain and simple. That's what I want to say is we were all part of this, so
Well, thank you.
we're all at 1 year. I don't have too much to really talk about. Just want to kind of reminisce a little bit about the year. So most surprising movie from the past year, from from the podcast. Do you have one?
From like recommended or shared.
Just like in the last year, it's something that you would have talked about on the podcast, but just most surprising movie. So, like for me, I talked a little bit about it last time. I'll talk about it again. It's The Descent. I talked about it literally in the top 11 TV shows episode, where I was expecting to be like, my horror movies are better than this horror movie. This horror movie's gonna suck. It's gonna be so stupid. And even while watching it, I was still like, yeah, this is not great. Oh, look, they reinvented Gollum. Okay, that's stupid. Oh my gosh, this girl's motivation is so dumb. What the heck is going on? But still, after that movie, I was still like, oh my gosh, this ending is sticking with me. It's so good. Like, no ending had stuck with me so much. Like I was thinking about it for days. So like that was my most surprising movie. Is just because I was so much like this is gonna suck. Conlon likes stuff different than me do. Yeah, that's the way to say it. Than me do.
Than me do. Me do. Me
Than
do
I
like
do.
things different than he
Um,
like things.
I was literally talking to Lauren before we started recording today, and I was like, Lauren, what do you think I'm going to think of Alvin and the Chipmunks? And she was like, well, Conlon's not going to like it very much, and you tend to just have different opinions than him, so you're probably going to like it a lot more. Um, or you're going to hate it, since he seems to be pretty mid. Um, this was one of Conlon's honorable mentions last year. And in watching it for him, just because I was trying to crank out, like, I can't stress this enough. The ending stuck with me for days. And this was a period in time where I watched like 20 movies in a week. Like, it's my most surprising just because of my expectations going into it and what I actually got out of it. Um, so, Lauren, do you have any surprising for you in last
I
year?
think I think I mentioned this with the top TV was that 12 Angry Men was one that I didn't think I would like and I got sucked into. And then there's a TV show I watched that I just put on. I think I mentioned about this one too, just because it was in my top 10 for the TV series, is the Man on the Inside. I was like, hey, I recognize that actor. I'll just start watching this. And then I was like, actually, this is really good. And I'm really happy I found this and I'm hooked. Um, so I'd say those are like my two surprising ones that I watched this year. Because I don't think I've watched too much new stuff this year.
Conlon, do you have any movie that surprised you?
So I mentioned one last week, which was Magical Leprechaun Goodness, because I am shocked that I like that movie as much as I do. And I was looking through our last episode to see if there was any others. The other one was The Greatest Beer Run Ever, because that movie looks stupid, but I really, really like that movie. And that looked dumb, but that one was another one that was just like extremely insightful, very surprising, extremely well acted, better than I ever would have guessed.
Okay. And then just to ask about the flip side, is there any movie you wish you hadn't watched? Most regretful movie in the
Oh, that's
last
an
year?
interesting question. Field of Dreams. I don't regret it because I've watched it now, but I just didn't like the movie very much. Are there any movies that I regret watching? I mean, I didn't like Chicago, but I've seen it now. So like, there's some movies that I don't really like that we watched, but I've watched them now, and I don't regret having seen them, so that I can never watch them again and talk about how sucky they are.
Okay.
What do you think?
So for me, two come to mind. The first one is Chicago, which you can count or not because I did watch 15 minutes of it. So it's like, did I really watch the movie? No, but I'm really glad I didn't. I do regret the little bit that I did watch. The other one that comes to my mind is The Matrix, uh, because it was something that was built up my entire life. That movie was like, this is going to be a Josh kind of movie. And I kept putting it off and off and off because I was like, what if it doesn't live up to my expectations? What if it doesn't live up to my expectations? And then I watched it and it didn't live up to my expectations. And it's like, I preferred being in the dark on that one. I preferred knowing enough about it, but not having watched it. Because it's like, it was fine, but I just didn't love it, and I was really hoping to at least like it, and I just didn't.
I have one. I was just going through the list. I have one more. Actually, I have two more things. One, I genuinely could go without having watched Oklahoma, for real.
Me too.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that was. Well, I don't even feel happy that I watched it. Like, I just don't like it. And surprising, The Well shocked me on how
The
much I like
Well?
that movie. The
He
Well,
means
Oh,
that
The
he liked
Whale.
it.
The Whale.
Yep. Nope. I understood what he said. I was just
Well,
thinking, well, Well, and I was like, did we watch a movie called The Well? No, Whale. Whale. Um, yeah, that's totally fair.
Okay.
Lauren, do you have any you regret having watched? Other than
Chicago.
Ready or Not, we know you didn't. Just kidding.
I actually don't regret watching Ready or Not. Um, but there's one that I haven't mentioned on the podcast because I regret watching it. And it's actually one that I was texting you about last night. Was the Blade Runner 2040 whatever. I regret
You
watching
don't
that.
like it? Oh, dang. I don't like the
No,
original movie. That is a sequel that I think is infinitely better than the original,
it
massively.
was like it was very long. There was a lot of nudity, and
That's right.
I think Detroit Become Human. It was like very similar to Detroit Become Human, but Detroit Become Human is way better. And so I just felt like I wasted a lot of time that I could have been watching Jumanji. Because that was the movie I watched next, and I was like, this is better. I
It's
wasted
like
all my wakeful.
Jumanji come from.
Because I'd been, like, the past 2 days, I've barely been awake. I've just been comaing out this cold I have. And so when I'm awake, I would like pick something to watch, and I'd usually fall asleep through it. And I was awake the entire time through Blade Runner, and I regret it. I was like, why can I fall asleep? I should have picked something better for while I was awake.
You should have watched The Materialist again. You already expressed how easily that one knocks you out.
I should have. Oh, that's another regret. That one. Well, no, I don't regret it because
No,
it
you
put me
got
to
sleep
sleep.
out of it.
Yeah, you're right. It's like I don't regret that. So
You might have regret how many times you tried to watch it, but
it's true. Yeah.
gotcha.
Um. Yeah. Yep. So that's the ones I regret watching this year.
Okay.
Because yeah, it's when I finished it, I didn't get like a feeling of like satisfaction or like happy or thoughtfulness or anything. I was just like, okay, it's over now. I can move on with my life.
Fair enough.
So
Okay. Is there any movie you wish you'd gotten to but didn't? Conlon really wished he watched Fantastic Four.
before we talked
Yes,
about it,
Just like
before we
super
talked about it.
anticipating watching it, and just didn't get around to it because he's not cool.
I don't think so. Not that I can think of. Was there anything for you, Lauren?
no, I think because like Fantastic Four was the one that I would say I was like because I was gonna go see it in theaters, and then I kept putting it off, and I'm really glad I didn't see it in theaters. But yeah, no, I watched everything I wanted to.
I pretty much did too. Uh, I kind of have been wanting to watch 1997 Cinderella, but it's on our shared topic list. We just haven't gotten to it. Um, I feel like most of the time I've like had a want. I've spoken up, and you guys have kind of agreed to it. So most of mine have gotten through. Uh, the other thing that kind of pops into my mind is like I wouldn't have mind watching the F1 movie in theaters and having that experience in theaters. But also, I hate theaters, so I don't mind that I didn't at the same time. So it's kind of like a little bit, but not really. Maybe, I don't know.
It was super cool.
Yeah. Uh, so that's the only thing that really pops into my head in that line of thought. But most of the stuff we get to, or I don't mind missing. So it's not a big like, oh man, I really wish that I had had the chance to talk to Conlon about
American Graffiti.
X. Oh man, I really
We'll get to it eventually. Is kind of my
get to
thought
it,
too.
and that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything that you're looking forward to? Not necessarily just movie, but like in the podcast to talk about that kind of stuff.
Tron Eris. I like Tron. I realize that both of the movies are kind of just mid, but I don't care. I like Tron. I've always liked Tron, and
I
I
will
am
fight you.
super pumped.
I will
What?
fight you.
You will fight me. Okay.
I will fight you.
Fight me on what?
The 2000s Tron is fantastic. It's amazing. The fact that it didn't get a sequel is a tragedy for the American people.
Okay. But I'll take it because
Just
I
the
love that
American
movie.
people.
Yep, just the Americans. Everybody else, they're fine. But
It's
as
because of
Americans,
everybody.
traumatized by the fact that it did get a sequel.
No,
Oh my gosh.
I love Tron, and I am extremely pumped for the 10th for Tron Ares to come
I
out.
am not pumped for the Tron Ares
I don't know how you're not. I really don't,
because it looks dumb.
because it
And
looks like
it has the
so.
it doesn't have the cast that I loved.
Okay. I mean, it still has what's it, Jeff Bridges? Bridges? Jeff Bridges?
Okay, it doesn't have the main character, and it doesn't have the main girl, which are my favorite.
Yeah, it's too bad the
Like
main girl
they
is in
did
it.
a great job.
The main character, I don't care. Like, I can
I
move on with
do.
the story. It's
He
fine.
was awesome. It's a great movie.
I'm
What
I'm
about you, Lauren?
I'm very
Do you
excited
have
for them.
anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah. I know you don't like Stranger Things. And like I'm not a huge fan of Stranger Things, but I am excited for the last season. Um
Isn't this the third last season that they've had?
no.
No.
Oh,
This is like the first time that they've said this is the final one. Just because I follow like a lot of I wanna see if people's theories are going to be correct at this end part because there's a lot of stuff that like I love watching the fan theories about what they're going to do with this, and sometimes I wonder if showrunners don't know what they're doing and they just look at fan theories to be like, who is
If they
closing up our
actually
plot
did that,
holes?
The Last Jedi would be fantastic. But they don't do that. There were so many good theories. There were so many.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
So I'm interested to see where it goes there. Um And then I feel like there's a movie I was looking for. Oh, I am excited to see the end of Wicked
Yeah.
because I do not know the story of Wicked and I haven't seen the play. And so I want to know what happens in Wicked because I sang a song, No Good Deed, and like won in my region or whatever for it, and I'm like, that's cool. I have no idea what goes on in this play other than this song. And
It's
I could piece it together. And when I was watching the first one, I was like, oh, Fiero.
it's the thing I'm probably the most excited to talk about because the play version, I have some problems with the play, and they started to change some of them in the first part. Like, why does Fiero fall in love with Elphaba? In the play, it makes no sense, like at all. But they do some things to make it better, which I love, and it falls apart more in the second half. And if you've seen the trailer, Dorothy shows up in the movie. I'm wondering if they actually play more into that with the movie version. I'm so pumped for this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited to actually see how it ends because, like, somehow I have lived on this planet without getting the ending of like I
hey, me
know
Wicked.
too.
the end of Wicked is the beginning of
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, so I guess I know
Um,
how it ends, but like, yeah. Anyway, I'm excited.
yep. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
Um,
don't.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Frere in season 2. Like, really excited. Uh, the last Red Rising book is coming out at the end of this year. I'm really excited. Sun Eater is probably my favorite series being written right now. The last book is coming out. I'm very excited. Uh, I just talked about The Will of the Many. Book 2 comes out in November. Very excited. There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm excited to finish Dark Wolf because it's awesome.
Have you not finished it yet?
No, I'm on only like episode 3 or 4.
Okay.
It's a really good show. I'm excited to finish the Tom Hardy gangster one
Mobland.
because it's also very good. I'm excited to watch your other show that you love that I literally forget every single time I pull up Plex. That was on your top 10 from last year. It's a thriller type show.
Oh,
What?
thriller.
That was
Terminal
a
list.
new one for you. has Eddie Redmayne in it, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
Night
Day
of
of
the
the
Jackal.
Jackal.
Yes, I'm excited to watch that. I will watch it. Um, there's a lot, my guy. There are so many good things coming out.
I'm only excited for like three things:
What are they?
Wicked Part Two, as we've said, Day of the Jackal Season Two, and the next Dungeon Crawler Carl book.
I was
You're not
literally
excited
just
Uh,
for
looking
Furry?
up Dungeon
if
Crawler
Thurin
Carl.
ended right now, I'd be okay with it. I'd be happy.
Okay.
It'd be fine.
But tomorrow, apparently, uh, he's releasing a graphic novel. A graphic novel, Crocodile, which is supposed to follow Florin as like a Kickstarter thing. Didn't you
Yep.
guys probably knew that, but I didn't.
I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, no, I'm
Can't wait
excited
for
for
that.
the next Dungeon Crawler Carl because I was literally just looking up the next release date and he doesn't have one, which makes me sad.
It's gonna be like
Yeah.
February, March,
This is
I
an
think.
interesting book. I won't give any spoilers, but it's an interesting book.
But yeah, so those are the only things. I'm really excited for another year of doing this. I really hope we continue doing it. Um, I'm really excited for debating Conlon because I know that that will happen at some point, and that's always a good time for me. I love a good debate. Um, with that, do you guys have any things you guys want to talk about?
I think those were some fantastic questions.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So, just like top TV shows, Conlon and I are going to remind you guys what we picked last year and what we picked this year. I know Conlon is so excited. He's sitting on the edge of the seat for mine and Lauren's list. But we're actually going to get started with Conlon. Conlon,
Well,
what's your number 10?
my number 10 last year was Klaus, and my number 10 this year is Klaus.
Klaus.
I love Klaus. I think the animation is brilliant. I think the sound design is brilliant. It makes me like emotional every single time I watch it. I don't cry, but I get there like where I'm like when I
Tear,
watch
you
it,
get back in there.
and it inspires me to be a better person. It makes me want to be good. It's a magical movie, and it's still I don't know. Netflix has made some good stuff. It's a very unique Netflix project. It just is. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie.
Okay, fair enough. My number 10 last year was Anastasia. My number 10 this year is Anastasia. Didn't change at all on that one. Just a fantastic movie. One of the only movies I could bond with one of my older brothers with on. Holds a special place in my heart. It's one that I think every single song is great. I love the story. I love the history of it. Um, I love absolutely everything about it. 10 out of 10 movie. Zero complaints. It's just perfect. I love the sidekicks. I love the relationship. It's just great. Like I said, it's a 10 out of 10. It's just a perfect movie. So it's perfect, and I have personal connections to it. So it's my number 10 still. Okay, Lauren, what did you
Okay.
get to number 10?
All right, number 10, we've all seen it. Eddie the Eagle. I put it made my top 10 because what I had to do to how I was picking my top 10 was I was like, was I happy if I'm in a certain type of way? If I watch this movie, will it make me happy? Or can I just watch this movie in any type of mood? And so if I had to be in a specific mood to watch a movie, I would like choose the other movie over it when I was doing my little brackets. So Eddie the Eagle, I can watch in any mood, and in fact, I will watch it when I'm in sad or like a mood I don't want to be in to be like happy or hopeful, I'll watch Eddie the Eagle because it just always makes me very hopeful and like Eddie's so wholesome. Um and I like how he views the world. And so yeah, he it made my top 10. Yeah,
I just have one question,
sure.
and it might be a little bit spoilery, but I do want the answer. Is
Okay.
Cool Runnings on your list?
So Cool Runnings and Eddie the Eagle are very much like the same movie to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I Cool Runnings was on my list, but I would watch Eddie over Cool Runnings. And since they're like very much the same type of movie for me,
So it's not
it's not what?
on your list.
It's not on my list.
Okay, the reason I asked that is because we watched Cool Runnings and Eddie the Eagle earlier this year, and both of these two said that I was wrong and that Cool Runnings was better. And
I still think that.
yet, Lauren put Eddie the Eagle on her list and not Cool Runnings, which means she has flipped her opinion, and I am right.
I guess I did because I like Eddie over Cool Runnings.
I still like Cool Runnings better, for sure.
Okay, you're insane. That's fine. Okay, Lauren, number 9. What you got?
All right, Emperor's New Groove. I picked this. Okay, it beat out a lot of things I didn't think it would, but what it came down to was like this was a movie that my whole family loved and every single time could agree on. And it's just like you have Kronk. It's so quotable. Um it's like yeah, I feel like everyone knows who Kronk is. And the music's good. I love the animation. It's very satisfying to me, all of the animations, how they do everything. Because there's sometimes in animations where I can see that they're like, oh, just this backdrop or whatever, just to do this scene and cut time. But it seemed like every single freaking frame had love in this movie. Um, and yeah, you have Pacha and his family. It's just very wholesome and very memorable. And so every time I'm like, okay, what is going to be like the easiest for me to put on and just enjoy? And yeah, that's Emperor's New Groove.
That's totally fair. That's such an underappreciated, underrated movie. It's so good. The
Yeah,
quotability alone is
It's crazy.
incredible with that movie.
so funny. Yeah, I mean, I use the sad llama gif all the time. So,
Everyone does. It's such a great gift.
yeah.
Okay, Conlon, number 9.
My number 9 last year was The Bridge Over the River Kwai, which actually has been taken off of my list. And this year it's
It's
The
because of my
Return.
rant about it, isn't it?
No, I rewatched it. I realized quite a few things on my list, and I was like, I don't rewatch this very often. I love this movie. I have a lot of appreciation for this movie, but it's not one that I like find myself wanting to rewatch all the time. Which there, a lot of my movements were that, including weirdly this one. Number 9 is Return of the Jedi. It was significantly higher on my list last year, and I find myself wanting to watch it significantly less than I have when I was younger, and so I moved it down a little bit, even though it still has a very, very special place in my heart, and I still love it.
That's fair. It's just those dang Disney people and their stupid sequels.
Yep.
Yeah, sucks. Okay, my number 9 last year was Midway. My number 9 this year is inspired by my co host, Lauren. This is the reasoning behind it, not the movie, but the reasoning behind it has been brought up by her, and it really got me thinking about it. And so, my number 9 this year is the movie I Love You Man. Um, Lauren has talked about how she would watch movies and be like, I want other people to watch it so that they can understand me better. And this movie is that way for me. Um, Maybe not so much currently, but if you want to know Josh from high school to like 24, I can think of no movie that would like show me better than I Love You Man. Um, it stars, I forget his name right now.
Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
Yeah. So I really identify with Paul Rudd's character. He's the relationship guy. He gets along with women so much better than men. He never really had a guy best friend growing up. And like everybody would make fun of me because I was just dating this girl or whatever. And I would laugh along, like, haha, whatever, but I'm going to be the happy guy in the relationship when I'm 30 and you're not. And here I am. I'm almost 30 and single, and they're in the happy relationships. But um, the like sadder part of that was I didn't have that male bond that this show is all really about. Like he's got a happy, healthy relationship with this girl, but he overhears her talking with her friends about like he doesn't have a best man. Who is he inviting to their wedding and whatever, and that makes him spiral a little bit and be like, I don't really have a best friend. I don't really have something outside of this relationships because I'm so defined by my relationships. And that's why it so connects with me is because like I had that in my past. I defined myself quite literally by my relationship. Not just the status, but like how good it was or how good the other person was to me was how good of a person I was, which led to a lot of depression, also shown in this movie. While at the same time, this movie's filled with laughs and is such a heartwarming male bond movie. It as he gets a male bond with Jason Segel, he also gets to be more himself. He stops burying himself in the relationship, and it makes her like him more, um, which is something I hope to do in a future relationship should I get the chance. So, um, all due to you, Lauren. You got me thinking that way, and it's like this is also a movie I would tell people to watch without telling them that like this was a movie that would show you who I am a little bit. Um, so there you go. If you guys want to see Josh a little bit better, I Love You Man is a great show, and you'll see kind of at least a little bit about how I view myself. So it because of that reason, it did fall to my number 9. Okay, Lauren, you've already done 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my number 8 last year was The Count of Monte Cristo. My number 8 this year, without further ado, Formula One, the F1 movie. I
Wow.
absolutely loved this movie. I was totally blown away by it. The special effects were incredible. The music was incredible. The story was really good and compelling. It was so good and compelling that I didn't mind the unrealistic things where it was like, if you're an F1 fan, you're going to see it. And if you're not going to, but it's not going to take away either. Um, so I really, really loved this movie. It's so good. It's one I will happily rewatch, and it's getting people into the sport that I truly, truly love. Um, uh, into racing. Conlon said he was more interested in racing. I think that the next step for Conlon is to watch Drive to Survive to get to that next level of wanting to do it. It gave me a bigger appreciation for the drivers, and like last week I was going to get on the podcast and say, I have a news update. I'm willing to admit that Max Verstappen is the greatest racing driver on planet Earth possibly ever because he just raced around the Nürburgring in the like eighth worst car and started in third, and by the first corner was in first, and when he got out of the car to give it to his second driver, he was a minute ahead. Like,
That's
he is
insane.
an incredible driver. I really don't like him as a person, but that was cool to watch him do. Uh, so it's Formula One has become a big part of my life since 2021, and this movie came out at just the right time, and now I get to talk to even more people about it. I was literally in a meeting with a client yesterday, and we did our work conversation. It lasted 2 minutes, and then we started talking about Formula One. And talking about Formula One led to talking about the race that Max was in, and talking about that led us to talking about and debating Max Verstappen as a driver. And I called out specifically the scenes in this movie that showed what he should have done, and it's always going to be something that I will think about and go back to and always have a great time watching and always feel good. I know I talked about it and I didn't like the ending. I still don't love the ending, but it's believable. It's not like, oh, that's ridiculous. It's just a bunch of people exploding. That's so dumb. Um, it's just fantastic. So, anyway, that was my long rant, but it came to my number eight.
They all explode at the end of F1.
No, luckily they do not because that's a dumb ending. All right, Lauren, what's your number eight?
This one surprised me. Brother Bear is my number eight. I love the music in this. I like the voice actors in this. Once again, this is like an animation that just makes me feel at home. I don't know how else to explain it, but like the colors are great. They have a really good palette for the colors in it, and then like they have Honey, I Shrunk the Kids guy is one of the moose, and like I love the moose in this movie. He's like, especially when they're like on the back of the mammoth, and he's like, oh, "Can I be in front? It looks like you wanted me." So, um, I think about this movie a lot, and it has like some really good themes of like family, vengeance, all these other things like spirituality. Uh, and this is like in the time of when they, was it Phil Collins still that does the soundtrack for this? Yeah, when they have an artist do the soundtrack for something and like he nails it. He always throws it out of the park. And this like I was trying to think of why this one in particular made my list where there's like so many like Tarzan and stuff like that that I like. And I think it's just because like the way I grew up, like I attended like a lot of powwows and things like that. And so I really connected with this movie and my family connected with this movie a lot. And my mom really liked to do family home evenings where we would like watch something and she would kind of like dissect things and like use bits of movies as like a learning opportunity and stuff. And we did that a lot with Brother Bear. And then there's just like the I remember laughing really hard with my family at the end where they're looking at the ice and seeing they're all warped, and then they look over at this bear that looks normal and it's just laughing its head off, and then they look over at it and like the normal thing that's like this deformed bear laughing at all of them looking normal. It's so funny. And then like the rams that are like yelling at their echo, like it's really funny. And like this was just a movie that feels like home, in a good way that makes and then yeah, I just always feel good after having watched this movie. And it's just so pretty to watch too. So it's my eight.
It's a good number eight. I love
G.
it. I need to go back and rewatch that one.
It's good.
I do too.
Okay, Conlon, number 8.
My number 8 last year was The Great Escape, which I this was the biggest one that was just like really, really hard for me. Was The Great Escape. I ended up getting it off of my list, but it could just come back next year. I really struggle with it, or I should have taken that off or not. Um, no, my number 8 now is The Descent. I love The Descent. It's just my kind of movie. I like the horror creatures. I like the uh, like they're going on an adventure together. I love the adventure aspect of it. The ending is fantastic, like Josh was saying in one of our other episodes. I just it's I like horror and I love this movie.
Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay, number 7, Conlon.
My number 7 was The Descent last year, and this year it is Spider-Man 2. Um, Spider-Man 2 makes me want to be a heroic person, and it does every single time. There's the part I've talked about it on the podcast before, where he loses his powers and he has to decide to have the powers again. And the idea of with great power comes great responsibility. It also comes with great choice. And do you choose that responsibility, even though it's hard, even though it's heavy, even though it comes with consequences? Do you choose it? And that part of the movie is one of my favorite parts of a movie ever, period. And I love it.
Okay, cool. I'm surprised it fell that low. All right, my
Drop down
number
low one space. Go ahead.
7 last year was Warrior. My number 7 this year is Star Wars Rogue One. Uh, I think this is the best thing Disney has given us Star Wars wise. Um, I know Conlon would say it's Clone Wars or Rebels Season 4. Uh, I know that not everybody loves this movie, but I can't think of a better ending than what we get with Rebels or Rogue One. Um, it's the first and only Star Wars that is really, really good where we don't have lightsabers or the Force. We're dealing with real human people in this universe. Um, and they do an exceptional job. And it's one where they build on prepping you for the story that is for, and they don't screw it up. They don't make it worse. They make it better. Um, it's all around absolutely excellent, and it is one of the Star Wars projects not tainted by what they did in the sequels or in any of their shows. A lot of people like the show with the guy from um, Rogue One. I don't personally really like the show, but it doesn't take away from it. It's not like his character's ruined by it. It's not like any of those things. It is just a fantastic watch. And I believe that this movie is standalone. You could just watch it and enjoy it. You don't even have to know that much about Star Wars. And you could be up to speed and involved with it. Um, I don't really know what else to say about it other than like I'm just a big defender of it. I think it's brilliant. I think that if we had had this quality for the sequels, there would be an honest debate about sequels versus original trilogy. But we didn't. We got the garbage that we got. Because I think that this is better than some of the originals. So it came to be my number 7. Okay, Lauren, what you got for 7?
Corpse Bride. Um, this is probably my favorite of Tim Burton. And like I was obsessed with this as a kid as well. And I remember I just would like draw the bride, Emily, over and over and over again. And then there was like at school, they're like, "Hey, we're doing this poster contest." And I was like, "Great." They hadn't even announced what the poster was supposed to be. And I just drew a big picture of Emily and submitted it. And they're like, "Well, we haven't even announced what it's about yet." But at least they gave me. It was really funny because it was actually not to toot my own horn, but it was really well done. And they actually gave me a prize for. They're like, "We'll give you a prize for being like the first submitted," and then they hung it up in the library for the longest time. Um, in my elementary, but this is like another that like I think it's very interesting how like Tim Burton makes the living like when he has a showing of like a living world and then the dead world, he always makes like the dead world more colorful than the living world. And then it's just like I like the music in this one. I was obsessed with like the piano song. Uh, yeah, it's this got me like really into stop motion and like seeing everything behind the scenes. Like I dug into this the how to they made the Corpse Bride. Now they're like, oh yeah, this was like 6 months in, and we only had like this many minutes of film, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like. Ugh. Anyway, I love the aesthetics of this. This one actually it's kind of strange that it is on my list since I was going off of if how I feel at the end of the movie because this one always like made me feel sad at the end of the movie. But I think that it just kind of like speaks a lot about who I am with like the aesthetics and everything like that it had to make my list because I'm obsessed with this movie and still am.
I'm gonna
Cool.
watch it. I've never seen this movie.
No,
Oh, it's
okay,
so good. It is the best Tim Burton.
okay, that's gonna be a shared topic.
Yeah, we should do that as
It
the
is
next one.
so good.
That's
Yeah.
real good.
Okay, Laura, number 6.
Okay, so this is one that like normally I saw movies growing up because my siblings wanted to watch them or my mom watched it. Like I never got to choose the movie we went to go watch. This was a movie that like I just found on my own in I think I was like in middle school and just decided to put it on and watch it. And it's Stardust. So I obviously I really like it. Uh,
No way!
what?
Really?
Um, I liked the mystical part of like stars were like beings, and then when they come down, they you have to cross the wall, and when you cross the wall, then there's like this mystical magical world. Whereas if they fall on the other side, they're just a rock. Um, Also, I really like Charlie Cox. He is. I like him. He's a good actor. I like him in Daredevil. I like him in this, and this is where I knew him from was from Stardust. Uh, I got like the book to read it, and honestly, the movie is better than the book. And I'm trying to think of like the brother's name, the gothic brother. I can't think of what his name, Septus or something. Um, I knew I was like supposed to be rooting against him, but I really liked his character, and the whole time I was like, oh, I kind of hope he gets it, but like I hope he doesn't kill our main guy for it. Um, it was just kind of my first grown-up fairy tale type thing, um, and I don't know. I just really like the love story in between the Star and Tristan. I really like the story of the brothers going on at the same time of them trying to get. I liked how everything comes and ties together at the end with the brothers, the Star, and then the mom that you didn't even that he's been trying to um, go see. Uh, and how it all wraps up was just very satisfying to me. Um, and then I'm like a sucker for like she starts shining when she's happy, and like the pirate like could tell, and he's like, yeah, you can't, like, you've been shining more recently, like you're in love. And then like at the end, how she like she's like, what do stars do best? They shine. And it was like, it's so cheesy but so cute. That's like they literally save everybody with their love from the witches. um but yeah, it made it up so far. I actually thought that Stardust was gonna get knocked off my list, but I've been kind of want to watching it recently, so I think that's how it got so high up on my list.
Okay, Conlon, what you got for number 6?
Number 6 last year was Spider-Man 2, and this year it is Good Will Hunting. I use arrogance quite often to protect myself. It's a self-defense mechanism that I use a lot, and I have to work really, really hard not to let it overtake me and ruin relationships that I have in my life. And this movie is what I watch when I'm trying to remind myself not to be a jerk, to be completely honest. I watch it and it makes me humble myself. I think this movie is one of the best scripts ever written. It's just extremely tight. There's nothing really I would change about it. And it is another one that just makes me want to be. It makes me a better person. It doesn't just make me want to be a better person. I literally realign myself with being more humble when I watch this movie.
Cool. That's a
Yeah.
good reason to have it in the top 10. Uh, my number 6 last year was Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. My number 6 this year is Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. This was a debate for me on whether or not to drop it. Um, but it came down to two things. One, I do believe it's the only Star Wars movie better than Rogue One, so it has to make my list. Um, and I give it's the one with no Luke, I am your father, and plain and simple, that's one of the most iconic, heaviest hitting moments in movie history and in my personal life as well. I was one of those kids that was like, "No, he's lying. It's not true," um, and done it. I think that Return of the Jedi is an underrated movie. A lot of people say it's the worst of the originals. I think it's pretty comparable to A New Hope. They're both still really good, but they didn't make my list. They're also the ones that I just can't help but feel the tarnished nature of the sequels. Um,
It's fair.
I can look back at Empire and be like, we had this moment, we had the fight between Luke and Vader, we had Han Solo and being frozen and all of these things, and the other two, it's just like, oh, poor Luke, look what he turned into in the sequels. Emperor and his stupidness. This is because of the personal connection to my childhood and how heavy the scene hits me or hit me at the time. It's the one that I can still just watch and enjoy without dreading the sequels and what it did to these characters. So it didn't move, but it was a bit of a debate for me. But I still, it deserves the credit, so it didn't move. All right, my number 5 last year was A Knight's Tale, an exceptional movie, a wonderful movie. Didn't make my list this year because this year my number 5 is Midway. Uh, it's a movie that makes me love history. It's a movie that makes me love movies. It's a movie with zero historical inaccuracies. It does the thing that I love. I appreciate when movies do it and say history is interesting enough. We don't need to fake it. And they made it look great. It's just a phenomenal movie. It looks gorgeous. It's got great people in it, and it respects the history and the people of the past who dealt with the fight. And I will always just love this movie. and any movie that appreciates history the way that this one does. Okay, Lauren, what you got for number 5?
Austin Land. This was probably one of my favorite rom coms. Uh, yeah, we've talked about it before on the podcast, so I'll just basically leave it at that. Is that always makes me happy when I watch it. I'll always laugh when I watch it. Um, yeah, I like it. Number 5.
Cool. Conlon, what's your number 5?
My number 5 last year was Return of the Jedi, and this year it's Kingsman. Kingsman wasn't on my honorable mentions. It wasn't on my list last year. I don't know why, because I just freaking love this movie. I don't have a deeper meaning for why I love this movie, but every single time, this movie's just badass. It's just so good. I love the corny villain. I love the gadgets. I love the church scene is one of the greatest scenes of all time. The main actor is phenomenal. Manners maketh man. I'm thinking about redoing this wall and actually doing like a movie art thing. I want that to be like the top thing because it's just awesome. He locks the door. It's so good. And every single time I watch it, I'm like, I love this movie. Time goes by fast while I'm watching it. I love the color scheme. I love the way it's filmed. I love the British aspect of it. It is just an enjoyable, fun. When you think about like an enjoyable movie, it is that for me. I just have a freaking good time. The part with the parachutes and he just gets so mad, but he did have a parachute the whole time. Teaches little lessons throughout the movie. Great.
So here's my question, Conlon. We're going to take a little bit of a timeout here.
Yeah.
Previously, you've talked about how I probably should have been British because of how much I love the British humor. I love the British shows, XYZ, whatever. But it really seems like you're coming around on the British shows.
I think I
You
am.
loved Notting Hill. I hated Notting Hill. We both loved this movie. Uh, like,
I like About Time.
yeah.
I
So,
like.
which of us really should have been British? Is my question.
I think it should have been me. I think I should have been British. I'm figuring out the British way. I don't know. There's things I don't like British too. Like there are some British humor things that I don't really enjoy. I'm not that into Sherlock Holmes. I don't really like the time travel red telephone booth
Doctor
show.
Who?
Doctor Who. I don't really like Doctor Who.
I'm glad you got that because I was like,
I was
what
like-
are
I
you
was like-
talking about?
I also like what is it called? Downton Abbey is one of the most atrociously awful things I have ever had to sit through. Ugh.
Okay.
But there are other things with British that I do very, very much enjoy.
I was actually thinking about giving Downton Abbey a try because I've never seen it.
I really do
So
not like
much
Downton
stuff
Abbey.
references it and talks about it.
Downton Abbey is like watching Pride and Prejudice to me. Like, it feels the same. I really don't like it.
All right, we'll get back into it then. Conlon, what's your number 4?
My number 4 last year was Good Will Hunting, and this year it is Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. The Two Towers is simply epic. It is an amazing adventure story. It's an amazing fantasy story. The set design and every single detail that was put into it is phenomenal. And it only got to number 4 because the other movies in front of it mean more to me. But it's basically a perfect movie.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, my number 4 last year was 10 Things I Hate About You. Another one where I still love this movie, but it fell off my list.
That is
my number
shocking.
4 this year is Treasure Planet. This is the movie to me that is all about something that Conlon brings up a lot, and it's hope. Hope to be something beyond what you were given, something outside of beyond your means, to strive, to work hard. Uh, there's a common saying that has been going through my head recently, and it's like hard work beats talent every time. And what happens when you have hard work and talent? Get out of that mother's way. And that is this movie. It is hard work and talent all come together. And what is the thing? Hope and redemption. Um, I love redemption. I love redeeming qualities. I love striving to be better and more than you are. That is this movie. That is what every character in this movie is trying to be. His mom is trying to be a better mom, but overwhelmed. He is trying to be a good kid, but is adventurous and emotional. Uh, the pirate guy is trying to be rich and thinking that that's his only avenue to be somebody. Uh, the ship captain is trying to be the best ship captain she can be, but is limited by her resources. The scientist guy is just trying to prove things. Like every single character, the robot is just trying to be better and trying to grow. And this movie is the movie that says you can, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of how you were born or created or what is going on in your life. And this is the movie that I will watch anytime I feel like I need to be able to feel hope. And it is this movie. It's great. The animation is great. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I'm Still Here is one of my favorite songs of all time. And it is a song that I can turn on for the message of hope and love. And I might not be here physically, but my love and appreciation for other people is still here. Um, I listen to the rock versions of it. I listen to the normal version of it. I can listen to that song anytime and like any version. It is so good. Um, so that's why it came down to my number four. Okay, Lauren, number four. What you got for us?
How to Train Your Dragon, the first one. Um, this is the movie that made me decide to go back to school and get my animation degree, which is funny because it's 3D, not 2D. Uh, but I remember I was like in lockdown 2020. We all remember. And I was watching a lot of movies, and then this came up, and like I love the soundtrack of this movie. I love the animation's amazing. um and I remember just being like fascinated with I've always thought about 2D animation my whole life, and I thought about how I couldn't do it. And then I remember looking at like 3D models and things and being like, I guess I could make a 3D model move. And then weirdly enough, I ended up going to school for 2D animation instead. But How to Train Your Dragon is what made me choose to go back to school. And then it's a really good movie. Let me say that about everything on my list. um, you have like this little Viking guy. Like, I am a sucker for stories that have like the runt that is smart and has to like think of um, has to has to use ingenuity to like figure out his problems versus where other people just like brute their way through. Um, and then I'm also a sucker for like father son stories. And so this hits both. And then also at the How to Train Your Dragon movies, all of them, they show real consequences. So like at the end, uh, he loses his leg, and you get like these consequences to your actions of things where like, yeah, everybody lived and we got this over with, but there was some loss. Um, and then you have like them getting together with the dragons and they live peacefully, and we're not going to talk about the third one. uh, But yeah, I really like it. Made it my top four because it is what made me go back to school. It is um, a great story, great animation, great music, and I feel like everybody, if you're like, hey, you want to watch How to Train Your Dragon? I can't think of anybody that's going to be like, no, we're not watching that. So that's how it made it so far up.
It's like a really good choice.
Really
Really,
good.
really good choice. Okay, Lauren, back to you again. What's number three?
This one surprised me. It's Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts would be higher. I thought it was going to be my
So
number
did I.
one. Um, we've all heard me talk about Thunderbolts, but yeah, it made it this high because mostly I love it so much because I could be like, people watch this so that you can understand something about me. Um, and then I also just really like Lewis Pullman. So I was like thinking about it and being like honest with myself with the rankings of these things. And I was like, yeah, I almost put it lower actually, but then I was like, no, I really do like this movie in its entirety. I love the characters. Like this is my dream team of Marvel characters because it has most of the ones that I like. Like you have Yelena, you have um the Winter Soldier, you Bob, who I didn't know was going to be my favorite, and the Red Guardian. I don't care that much about Ghost, and I still don't. But like those were ones that like were side characters that I absolutely loved. Um, and so I kept it at three instead of making it go lower. But yeah, just because it has great representation of bipolar and depression and anxiety, and I feel like a lot of people could relate to it. And this is now a showcase of something that somebody could be like, that they put in onto screen what I'm feeling that I can't say. So yeah,
It's really, really cool. Okay, Conlon, we're into your top three. What you got at number three?
Okay. Number three was also not on my anything last year. Um, my number three last year was Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and my number three this year is The Pursuit of Happiness. Um, this last year has been hard for me. There have been a lot of times where I have literally just felt like no hope, been extremely depressed. And a couple months ago, I was watching this movie, and I've cried at two things on screen in my entire life. One is the movie Charlie, which for some reason there's a part where she's dying of cancer and she says to her little baby, "Call me mama," and the baby won't say mama, she just keeps saying daddy. And for some reason I literally cannot watch that scene. I every single time will bawl, cannot do it. I'll do the breathing thing, I do the manly like suck the tear up, doesn't matter. I will cry at that scene. The Pursuit of Happiness this time broke me into pieces. And I've been like trying to build a business, trying to build my life, trying to make something better, and it's been hard. And it's a story about a father who's trying to take care of his son, and he's doing everything that he can. There's a part where they're sitting in a bathroom stall, and he's just holding his kid and he's crying, and I just started bawling. Um, this is a movie that breaks you down and makes you, if he can do it, you can do it. I debated putting this even higher, to be honest. It should have been on my least honorable mentions last year. It's a beautiful story about a father and a son, about a father who cares, about a father who fights for his kid, fights for a future, who at times feels too stupid to be able to make it, and I felt that before. Um, it's really special to me, and it meant a lot. That's basically what I have to say.
Okay. really hard to follow that up, but I'll give it my best chance. Just going for it. My number three last year was Batman Under the Red Hood. My number three this year is Warrior. Um, this to me is the movie that I watch more and more, and the more and more I watch it, the more I want both sides to win. Uh, this is the only movie I can think of without an antagonist. Um, like the antagonist of this movie is the history of the dad. It's not even the current dad. It's not even the dad that he is today. It's what happened to these two brothers. Um, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I want the teacher to win. No, I want Tom Hardy to win. No, I want the teacher to. No, I want Tom Hardy. Like, I'm so pulled in two different directions every single time I watch it. Um, it's another redemption story and redemption of of the father. It's a redemption of the brothers and their relationship and forgiving not just each other but themselves. Um, it is an amazing movie um, that I absolutely love and adore. Outside of that, um, there is a point of pride, honestly, with me because every time we talk about it, Conlon says, Josh introduced me to this movie, and it's an amazing movie, and you should watch it too. Um, and like, I don't think I've heard Conlon talk about this movie without mentioning me, and it's just a little bit of a. I feel love and appreciation that I was able to share this with somebody else, and it meant so much to them that they think of me along with this movie. Um, so that's why it brought it so much higher for my list, is just because a little bit of pride. It's not a really great reason. It's not nearly as good as Conlon's reason for sure. Um, uh, it's just what it means to me, and so that's how my list fell. All right, so for my number two, last year it was Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. It is the best Lord of the Rings movie. Lauren disagrees for some insane reason. No one can
That's
understand that.
crazy.
It's
That
crazy.
is,
She thinks it's the
Lauren, that
worst
is
one. Which, what the
nuts.
freak?
That is the best one.
Insanity. Um, this year I
Easily.
put the Lord of the Rings trilogy because honestly, I can't narrow it down to just one. And if I put all three on my list, it would knock off some really, really great stuff that I wouldn't get to talk about. Um, the reason this didn't fall on my list is because while I was making this list, I had a realization, and that was that Conlon and I have watched the extended editions together every single year for about 6 years now. We started when I was off at college. He came, he spent the night, we watched it. And every year since then, we have found a reason to not only be in each other's presence, to not only go out and eat and try new food and do whatever, but we got to enjoy this movie to get this entire trilogy together. Um, he pansied out a little bit this year and not being able to watch it the whole way through in one sitting. But, I'll give him a pass. He had a headache. He hears that from his wife all the time that we can we can accept it. We can give him some grace in that. Um, and it's always going to mean so much to me. This was a movie I watched from when I was a little kid. I used to get made fun of because of how much I watched Lord of the Rings. I used to get made fun of from my little brother who wanted to watch Thomas the Tank Engine when I was watching Lord of the Rings. Like,
More cultured.
are you kidding me? Like, this is so much better than Thomas the Train. Are you kidding me? Um, It is a movie that has always been there for me. It is a constant. It is comfort. It is gorgeous. The cinematography is great. The music is incredible. The characters are amazing. It is just a perfect, perfect trilogy. Uh, I've been listening to the books. Conlon just listened to the first book. Like, it's something that is just growing in my life. It is becoming more of a thing, not less over the time. And it has stood the test of time. I see myself when I'm 90 watching this trilogy, and I was watching this trilogy as early as like 5. Like, it has always been a thing for me. It has always been a part of my life. So I can't. I know Two Towers is the best, but I had to change and make it the entire trilogy because I never just watch one of them. I always watch the entire thing. It's always great. All right, Lauren, what you got at number 2?
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is my number 2. This movie, like, for those who haven't seen it, it's kind of like this guy who's at this dead end job, and he has these like daydreams of what, like, kind of like these bizarre daydreams, um, and then he needs to find this picture, this file from this his client, and so he ends up going off in this adventure, inadvertently this going on an adventure, and his life starts becoming more exciting than his daydreams are. Um, and like, this is a movie that made me want to travel. This was a movie that made me feel um, like more empowered to be living by myself. Because there's, I don't know, all my life, there's always been people who have doubted me in everything that I do. Uh, there's like several times I can remember I did achievements, and it never crossed my mind that I couldn't do it until somebody was like, "Wow, I'm so surprised you did that. Like, I cannot believe you just did that thing." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had like so little faith in me." And like, for some reason this movie made me think, cuz that's like how I started out, was like I couldn't believe that I couldn't do things, and then I kind of like slipped into this thing of like I don't think I can do anything. And then this movie gave me that power back of realizing, oh, I can do these things, and like I need to stop being so scared to just go and do things and like live on my own. Because I had some relationships where like uh, they very much instilled in me that I was nothing without them, and it was really scary to leave that and then like go and be something by myself, and know that like you can go and have like this adventure in this life. And there's something from this movie where he finds the guy that he needs to get the clip from, and the he's like sitting there, and he's like, "Are you going to take the picture? Like, this is the picture you've been wanting to take your whole life." And he's like, "Sometimes I just like to sit in the moment." And like, I a lot of times I have friends that are mad that I don't take pictures when I'm out doing things, because I'm like, I'd rather be in the moment, and I rarely go back and look at like photos and things. So unless somebody very specifically asks me to take photos, a lot of the times I don't take photos of things. And I really liked that this person had the same view as I did with like taking pictures and things. It's like, I'd rather be fully in the moment than to waste it with like trying to get the best photo to show. Um, and it was funny because my brother texted me the other day. He's like, "Have you seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love that movie." And then he's like, "F you for not telling me about it." And I was like, "Max, you're the one who told me about it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just very passionate about this movie." And I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'm glad we both love this movie." But yeah, anyway, it's given it like reignited my love for travel and exploring and knowing that like you can do it by yourself. So number two.
Very, very cool. Okay, Conlon, number two. What you
My
got
number
for us?
two last year was Ratatouille, and my number two this year is Braveheart.
Hmm.
Um, Braveheart is kind of everything I like in a movie. It has great action set pieces. There's some cool historical aspects to it. You have the aspect of one man fighting against an entire world that tells him no. You have a culture that is suffering. You don't have peace. You have one man that decides that he wants to bring peace, but peace requires fighting and standing for something no matter what. You have warring nations and warring countries and warring leaders. You have treachery. You have hope. You have a man who loves a woman so, so, so much, and that woman is taken from him and left in just abused in a horrible, horrible kind of way. And you could get lost into that anger, but he doesn't get lost in the anger. He stays focused, he stays driven, and he decides that he's going to fight for something larger than himself. Um, I love the war scenes in this. I love the way that it's filmed. I think the acting is brilliant. I think the line writing is incredible. It makes me want to be a better person. And at the end of the movie, when everything has been taken away from him, his entire life goal has been stripped to nothing, and they still want to break him, he doesn't break. One of my favorite things about Dungeon Crawl Carl is the "they will not break me" line. I love that line in the book series. And I've used it to help people around me. There was a guy who was a fan of the books, and he was talking about how hard things were going in his life. And I just wrote him, don't know who he is, about "they will not break you. Don't let them break you." And he literally called me later. He asked for my number and asked how much that meant to him. He was a Patreon guy. And this movie does that to me. You will not break me. I will keep going. I will make something better. I will make my life better. I will be better for the people around me. I will be better for my friends. I think this movie is absolutely brilliant. It is magical, and I love it.
So that raises the question for me, Conlon. Last year, that was your number one.
Yeah.
Why did it drop?
Because I find myself wanting to watch number one, which will be obvious what it is, over and over and over again. And no matter how many times I watch it, I get new things out of it. And it also lifts me up. One and two really could be interchangeable for me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we are gonna go through our honorable mentions here before we hit our number ones. Two of them are pretty obvious to us. To anybody who listened to last year's, it should be pretty obvious to you as well. But I do want to ask a couple of questions that came up. Conlon, um, last week when we were recording top 10 TV shows we finished, and we were talking, and I brought up that my list was almost entirely different. And you were like, that's crazy. Most of my list is the same. And I would argue your list is more different than mine. What changed between now and then, or were you just ribbing me?
I wasn't ripping you. I spent more time thinking about it. My list really has a lot of the same movies on it. Like, I took off Bridge of the River Kwai and The Great Escape, and I added Kingsman and The Pursuit of
Yeah, but there were
Happiness.
two movies that you admitted that didn't even make your honorable mentions last year.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
Um,
a big change.
I thought about being like honest with myself, and Kingsman was one where I just loved the movie, like I was saying earlier, and I couldn't it just needed to be on the list because I will sometimes watch that movie 2 times a year, and I just love it. And then The Pursuit of Happiness, I obviously already went into that, and I couldn't not have something that was that impactful hit me, and it was like impactful on a personal level and one that I don't. It's a sad movie, but I want to rewatch it. Um, One of my honorable mentions is the Grave of the Fireflies. Amazing, amazing, amazing movie, but I don't want to rewatch that movie. It also was impactful for me, but it's The Pursuit of Happiness is one that has been impactful for me when I was 15, and it just gets more and more impactful as I get older. And when I have a kid, I expect that to be even more impactful, to be completely honest.
That's
Um,
totally fair.
so I thought about it. I really, really I considered this even more than my TV shows, to be honest. After you were so in depth with your TV shows and so passionate, and like I could hear some of the passion for particular things, I realized you had thought through it more than I had, to be honest. So I spent more time really considering what are my top 10.
Well, that answers my question, but I'll ask it anyway. Was there anything else that kind of inspired you or pushed you to think a little bit more about it?
It was mostly you. It was your example with the way you approach the TV shows, honestly.
Lauren, my question for you was, I know that I was teasing you a little bit because little Lauren was like, I'm going to have such a hard time with these movies and TV shows, but like, I don't remember how it happened, but I literally opened Plex and I was literally just like naming shows and TV shows, and she was like, "Oh dang it, I didn't think of that one. Oh dang it, I did stop naming shows." And so, how was this experience for you, bringing it down to 10?
Um, I had to like think of in sections of things because like none of my superhero movies actually made it on. Like I had,
Thunderbolts.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts did make it, but like I had just Spider Man because there's so many Spider Man movies that I love. But I was like I can't list them all. I'm just gonna list Spider Man, and then I had like Disney. So I basically did it in like what's going to make my list. And then I had to, like I did with the TV shows, I had to narrow it down to one specific thing of like, do I feel happy after watching this? And does it put me in a better mood after watching this? Because I'll, spoiler alert, for one of my honorable mentions, there was Finding Neverland. And I was like, that always makes me cry. I'm always in a worse mood after I watch that movie, but
Oh,
it's
that's
so
so
good.
happy.
um, so I was like, that one didn't make it because I was like, no, I kind of get moody with that because, um, yeah, and so that's what I had to do with these ones, and then I was trying to find ones that have more of a personal connection because there are so many like um, Treasure Planet made it high up on your list because you have like a personal connection and the story really hit you. I love Treasure Planet, but I was like, I like Brother Bear beat it out with how my personal connections to it. Um, because like I agree with you with everything on Treasure Planet, but with my life and my background, Brother Bear somehow like beat it out and stuff. So it was really hard not to pick things just because I knew you or Colin really liked it too. So I had to be like honest with myself that and like Atlantis and Treasure Planet didn't make it on. I wanted it to, but it didn't. So it was a lot of me being like just trying to make a gut decision when I was doing the brackets. And I had to just stop looking at movies. I was like, if I haven't thought about it in forever, I don't think it needs to bring up to my top 10. So,
I had to do that too, where I was like, "Oh, that's such a good movie," and then I had to say, "Well, I haven't even thought about that movie in like 10 years."
yeah.
Um, That actually raises another question for me. I wish I'd asked at the beginning, but I'll ask it now. How do you guys both find this like this ranking? Do you find doing it helps you think about them deeper? Do you guys think it makes you realize some things, or is it just fun for you guys to do? Uh, the movies themselves, we've talked about how much they mean to us. Like that's always going to be there. But does ranking them in this way do anything positive or negative for you with the movies?
I don't think so. It makes me realize that I don't have like an all in all favorite movie because it like depends on my mood, depends on how I'm ranking them, depends on so many other things. So to make myself feel better about like my ranking, I'm like, okay, I know that in if I were ranking it on this specific thing, this one would make it more, but this is how I'm specifically ranking it. But like to say like best movie of all time, I would struggle so hard to tell you what my favorite of all time is because I'm like, well, what mood am I in? What time of year is it? What
Except you're about to tell us you're number one.
I
So,
am. So
uh, what about you,
mm,
Conlon? Did ranking them change anything for you or
TV
do
shows
anything?
didn't, because I didn't think as deeply. The movies definitely did, and in ground why I love them more. Like I think my explanation of why I like Braveheart was significantly better this year than it was last year. Um, it had me think deeper about why I love this and what things I want to love and what I'm looking for.
That's perfect. It's a great way to say it. Okay, let's.
What about you? You got to answer that question, Josh.
It's exactly what you just said.
Okay.
For me, it's really about like, okay, what do I actually value? What do I actually not just like enjoy? Uh, like, there's so many movies that I'm like, oh, this is amazing, or I had a really great time watching this movie, or whatever. But it really makes me more deeply analyze. Like, normally when we talk about it, we talk about, hey, this week I had a crappy week. I watched the very terrible but awesome Netflix movie that we all watched last week, and it made my life so much better, right? Um, Doing these top 10 make me think to myself, which ones are standing the test of time and not just like in the moment thinking about them. Uh, which ones do I really want to share with people? Is another thing. Like if somebody is listening to this or watching this, it's like, these are the 10 movies that I want you to watch because I think that they're not just fun and entertaining, but they made a difference in my life. And if they make the same difference in your life, that's nothing but positive. Um, so that's that. All right, we will get on to our honorable mentions. I'm going to go first because I super cheated. Um, So my number 11 is 310 to Yuma. My number 12 is Crazy Stupid Love. My number 13 is Count of Monte Cristo. My number 14 is 13 Hours. And my number 15 is Odd Thomas. That is a movie that I am surprised did not make my top 10 with how much I loved it. The
Surprised
other
310 to Yuma
unranked,
was that high,
it was that
actually.
ending. It was that ending, and it was a western that surprised me. Um, Other honorable mentions: 10 Things I Hate About You, Annabelle, Atlantis, Return of Joker, Mask of the Phantasm, Dark Knight Returns, Under the Red Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Black Shield of Farnsworth, The Bourne Trilogy, Braveheart, Cars, Catch Me If You Can, A Cinderella Story, The Dark Knight, Die Hard, Emperor's New Groove, Enemy at the Gates, A Few Good Men, Finding Neverland, Flash Gordon, Ford v Ferrari, Fury, Game Plan, Gladiator, Grave of Fireflies, Greatest Game Ever Played, Hercules, Hitch, How to Train Your Dragon, Inside Out, Klaus, Knight's Tale, K-pop Demon Hunters, The Life List, Lincoln Lawyer, Magical Legend of the Leprechauns, Meet the Robinsons, Megamind, Monsters Inc., The Pacifier, The Patriot, Phantom of the Opera, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, uh, Predator, Killer of Killers, Prestige, The Proposal, Quest for Camelot, The RM, Ratatouille, Real Steel, Remember the Titan, Predator, Killer of Killers, She's All That, She's the Man, Scooby Doo, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, Man 2002, Spider Man, and Woman in Black.
So maybe you should have just listed what didn't make your honorable mentions.
Oh, there's a lot of movies that do not make my honorable mentions. And you would be surprised how many I put on the list and then was like, oh no, I haven't even thought about that movie in a long time. I, um, so it was, it was hard. My bracket for this was so big, I had to go to a different website because they didn't allow more than 64 on a bracket. I was like, oh
Oh my
shoot,
god.
I'm screwed. All right. Lauren, what honorable mentions do you have?
Not as many, but I could basically just say ditto to yours. Finding Neverland, The Borrowers, Quest for Camelot, Odd Thomas, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Hook, Phantom of the Opera.
So, what was the defining thing between your number 10 and those movies?
The Borrowers, let's see. So, mostly it was because I either had something that was close to it. So, like, Atlantis and Treasure Planet were beat out by Brother Bear. Um, Finding Neverland, I was like, you're too sad to make my list. The Borrowers was beat out by The Secret Life of Walter Mitty and Eddie the Eagle. And then Phantom of the Opera I put on after you guys talked about it. But I was like, that should make my honorable mentions because I was obsessed with it. Hook was interesting because I kept putting it on, but everything kept beating Hook. But I really do adore that movie. So it's just like a lot of these I would put in the same boat, but then there's just something it either got beat out by the music was slightly better, or I feel like I want to watch something before I watch that one again.
Fair enough. Okay, Conlon, what do you got for honorable mentions?
Hope you're ready for this.
Oh no.
Anastasia, Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost, Home Alone, Top Gun Maverick, The Conjuring, Wicked, Real Still, Shrek, Cool Runnings, Quest for Camelot, Alien 2, Predator, Badlands, Odd Thomas, Stardust, How to Train Your Dragon, About Time, Zombieland, Wild America, Red Dead Redemption 2, Finding Neverland, Wreck, Warrior, Shawshank Redemption, Rear Window, Grave of the Fireflies, Your Name, A Knight's Tale, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Singing in the Rain, Patriot, American Sniper, Joker, Batman Begins, Dark Men, 310 to Yuma, The Wild Bunch, The Unforgiven, The Bridge Over the River Kwai, The Great Escape, The Black Shield of Farnsworth, Wreck, Gladiator, Warrior, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Batman Under the Red Hood, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, 21, Back to the Future, The Witch, Seven Samurai, Rear Window, Grave of the Fireflies. I think I said Grave of the Fireflies twice.
You did. But that's okay, because everybody needs to watch that one. What about you? What was the difference maker between your number 10 and those movies?
Cause I think that Klaus means more to me than The Great Escape, which would probably have been my one that I was debating between. Even though I love both of those movies.
Very, very cool. Last question for you, but before we hit our number ones, expectations versus reality. where was your guys' expectations versus what you actually got?
Um,
Because like I really thought Odd Thomas was on the list. I was so convinced. I put it at number 3 before even doing the bracket. I was like, it might
wow.
move a little bit, but I'm so convinced Odd Thomas is going to make my list. And 310 to Yuma was one that I was like, it can make an honorable mention, but I don't think it's going to make it that far into my bracket.
I thought The Borrowers was going to make my list for sure. And then I realized I just wanted to have it make the list because I wanted to talk about it. And so I put it on our list of things that we should watch. Um, and then, yeah, so it was like I had to be honest with myself with a couple of them because I thought Quest for Camelot was going to be on there. Thought Atlantis was going to be on there.
I straight up thought Quest for Camelot was going to be. Was that in your honorable mentions? Did I miss it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. I completely missed that because I was like, that's your number one. That's literally what I thought your number one was going to be.
Yeah, no. I don't think my number one's going to surprise you guys when I say it.
Magical Land of Leprechaun.
What about for mine and Conlon's list? Was there any expectation versus reality?
I thought K-pop Demon Hunters was going to be somewhere on your list. And Odd Thomas. So I was surprised not to hear those. And when I heard them on your honorable mentions, I was like, they're not the top one. So now I'm like trying to think of what your top one is. And I don't think.
It's really obvious. You're going to be like,
yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't move, of course. Okay,
Yep.
never mind. You even told us what it was last week.
I did.
Yeah.
So
it won't be his
that
favorite
would be a
forever,
surprise.
probably.
Any shockers on Conlon's or off of Conlon's?
Yeah, Ratatouille dropped off the list, didn't it?
No, it's his number 1.
Oh, did it split?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
Ratatouille
why
will
he was
never
like,
fall
it's going
off
to be
my
no
list.
surprise.
Oh, okay, because
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't hear Ratatouille in your honorable mentions. I didn't hear it. That makes sense. So no.
Okay.
I was surprised that Return of the Jedi fell as low as it did.
Okay. Was there any shockers on minor Lauren's list?
There was a shocker on yours. I am very surprised the 10 Things I Hate About You is not on your list. Like, very, very, very surprised.
It
A
fell
Knight's
off my
Tale.
because I haven't thought about it or watched it. Like, it's
Knight's
one I
Tale.
will watch soon, but I just haven't for a while.
A Knight's Tale was also surprising, but not as surprising as 10 Things I Hate About You. A Knight's Tale probably would have been my number 12, which surprised me that it was that high, but it moved up a lot when I was.
It's so good. It's such a good movie.
It's just a great movie. It's just a great movie. But yeah.
Okay. I was surprised The Descent made your list. I know you're a horror fan. I know it has a phenomenal ending. I just think that there's so much better horror, and I feel like there's horror that you've liked more. Like even when we've talked, like when I watched it and talked about it, you were like, "Yeah, it's good." So I'm just surprised that was the one that you made your list.
I loved it.
I'm surprised Return fell, but also not surprised because of Star Wars just not being as into in general. And I'm surprised Pursuit of Happiness made your list. It's a great movie, but it is just so sad and depressing. It is one that I don't want to watch because it's just such a bummer to me.
Sorry.
But yeah. Okay. Without further ado, Conlon, we're all sitting on the edge. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is The Charming World of Leprechauns.
Magical Legend
No,
of Leprechaun.
It's Ratatouille. Um, I think this movie is beautiful, and I thought really deep about it. I am so my parents are both the youngest of huge families, and so all of my cousins are older than me, and then I have younger siblings, and I just kind of don't fit into the family and never have. My grandparents on my mom's side have never really approved of the way that I lived, so I've never been close to them. And the family's huge, but we go to these family parties all the time, and I was just kind of separate from everybody. And Remy is separate from his family, his giant family, all the time, and he's alone. And I felt alone basically the entire time I was growing up. Uh, Especially when I went to family things, and I was just different than everybody else. And I was into different things, and they would all talk about whatever sports were going on, and I didn't fit in. Um, my dad and me have a complicated relationship, and I recognize that with Remy in the movie. It's a different relationship, but there's still a lot of similarities there. Remy's trying to create something magical. He's trying to create something personal. He's trying to be creative, and I'm a creative person that tries to pretend that he's not creative, and I like when I am creative. And this movie makes me want to be creative. It makes me want to explore. It makes me want an adventure. When I went on a mission, it was the first time I was away from my family, and there were times where they wish I would have written more, but I liked being on my own and having my own thoughts and being weirdly I was a missionary, but it was a different culture than anything else that I'd been in, and it was the first time that I like had a brotherhood, and you see that brotherhood happen with Remy and I don't know why I'm not remember his name right now, but the main human character, and they connect, and even though they are from different worlds and they don't speak the same language, they connect in such an absolutely beautiful way where they literally become one. And there were times on my mission where I would have a brother, and you would connect with that brother, and you would share the same thoughts, and you would share the same hopes, and you shared the same goals. And I had never been at a place where I was on the same path and sharing the same goal as somebody. And that is a magical, magical thing that is not shown very well in many things at all, ever. This movie has layer upon layer that I think is absolutely brilliant. I love the color scheme. I love the music. I love how our main human character has failed at all of these different things in his life. He's never quite succeeded. He's kind of been lost. And he just needs some help to figure out who he is. And at the end of the movie, he is a waiter, but he's one heck of a waiter. And decides that he's going to level up and be something great. Remy is a rat, and nobody expects him to be able to cook well. They don't want to give him a shot, but when he gets a shot, he's able to do amazing things. You have amazing potential within you if you will go and you will take it, and you will find it, and you will search for it, and you will do anything to have it. Remy has this voice where he's like, just stop. Don't keep going forward. But he has a little chef that tells him to not stop, to push, to enter a world that tells you you're not supposed to be there, but to do it anyway. You have the critic, and he eats this meal, and he's not expecting anything, and he's jaded about life, but then he finds something that surprises him. And it's amazing how a surprise, a new adventure, a new light can literally just uplift and change every aspect of your life. Sometimes it's easy to get jaded and to do the exact same thing over and over and over again. But if you go out and you branch and you find something new, it can bring you a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and a lot of hope. I love this movie. It makes me want to. A lot of these movies just make me want to be better. This movie is hopeful. It's connective. It's expanding. It makes me want to explore different cultures. It makes me want to travel. Like, I think Pixar put together something that should not be capable of being as good as it is. Like it's just level on level on level. This movie is freaking magic.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, Lauren, are you ready to find out what my number one is?
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
magical world of
I
leprechauns.
knew
Odd Thomas, Dinotopia. No, it is, of course, The Princess Bride. If you want to watch an action movie, Princess Bride. If you want to watch a comedy, The Princess Bride. If you want to watch a love story, The Princess Bride. If you want to watch a rom com, The Princess Bride. If you want to watch a horror film, The Princess Bride works. Like it literally works for anything. Um, on top of that, this has been a movie that has always been there for me. Uh, growing up, I was always raised in like, Josh, you have a lot of respect for women, a lot of expectations for me to pick a exceptional woman uh, in romance, and like my mom would pull me aside and be like, I sometimes worry about your brothers and sisters, but I will never worry about the partner you choose, kind of a thing. Um, I have always been this believer of true love. And in this movie, true love conquers all. And that is something that I adamantly believe in. Um, I believe that there's a distinct difference between brotherly love, friendship love, family love, romantic love, and true love. And I think when you have such a special thing that is what I would call true love, it is something that will conquer all. Um, those who I view who have that in my life have faced great dividing wedges in their relationships. Um, but they handle it so well because they have such a unique bond with one another. Um, this movie is everything I want to be. It's everything that I have been in my life. Um, if you said, "Hey, Josh, what was the defining movie in your life that defined your humor?" It's The Princess Bride. Uh, Emperor's New Groove is up there. I'm a pretty sarcastic person, but it was absolutely defined and shaped. Was The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is a movie that I would watch when I was sick. This is a movie that I watch with dates and trying to have a great time. It's a movie I will watch when I'm having the best day, and it's a movie that I will turn to on my worst days. Um, I didn't have the easiest teenage life. I had pretty hard moment that I won't get too much into, but basically my parents had a fight. They missed my choir concert because they were so engrossed in what they were dealing with that they forgot about it. So I had to walk home. Um, I got home and I got yelled at for not being at home from my sibling to not take care of my mom. I did not handle it well and I left and I went to a girlfriend's house and she didn't berate me. She didn't ask for answers. She didn't make me tell her what was going on or to face it or to do anything different. She recognized that I was having a hard time, and we just sat and we watched this movie. Um, so, this movie has literally been a part of my worst times and a part of my best times. And I, like I said, I believe in this extra level of true love that is only achieved by very few, and it is something that is a goal of mine. I hope to achieve that. And I hope that other people get to experience it because it is something that is that special in my mind. Um, it's sad to me that other people don't have that view or get to experience it, and some don't care. Um, but but this is one that like it breaks your heart. True love does conquer all. It is respectful and it is clean, and anybody can watch it and have a good time with it, and it stood the test of time. I don't know how else to say that this is just a perfect movie on top of it being such an important defining movie of my childhood all the way through adulthood. This is a movie that I watch every single year, multiple times a year. It's just one that is always there. Um, so that's why it is my number one, and it would take something pretty special to knock it off of my number one, honestly. So, with that being said, the true mystery, the big anticipation, the defining moment where Lauren is going to state once and for all what the greatest movie of all time is.
The greatest twist of all time. Cool Runnings.
That would be funny. No, I'm surprised you guys haven't guessed it. It's quite easy. It's Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the. So I would say the trilogy. I want to cheat and be like Josh and say it's the trilogy because I do watch them all at the same time. But if I had to pick which one's the best, it is the Fellowship because some of my favorite quotes come out of the Fellowship. And
That's fair.
like one that I think about especially now is like when Frodo's like, I wish I didn't live to see these times, and Gandalf's like, so do most people who live to see such times, but we have to think of what to do with the time that we're given. I murdered that, but that's kind of what it
I
said.
think you did a great job. You did a lot better than my narrator did it in my audiobook version. I grant you, you didn't give it the Ian McKellen treatment, but like, who really can other than him?
Right, yeah. So you have like all of these moments that set up the rest of the series in the Fellowship, and I freaking love it because the very ending of the Fellowship is when Frodo's like, I'm going, and Sam's like, he's like, I'm going alone, and Sam's like, of course you are, and I'm coming with you. Like, it makes me cry every single time that like Sam's like, he almost drowns, and then you have like that moment where like Frodo grabs him, pulls him onto the boat, and I said I was gonna be there for you. Like, don't make me not be able to be there for you because I made a promise. Like, I'm going to be there for you. And like that's how I've like envisioned my friendships, and it's helped me let other people help me because of like how earnest Sam is to be like, I'm trying to help you, let me help you, I'm going to be there for you. And like it's helped me.
Let me sit in the mud with you.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's helped me open up a little bit and like let people help me because I am very independent, and sometimes that is a, not beneficial because I'm like, nope, I have to do everything myself. And so actually like having to like force myself to not be and like to accept help has been like a hard thing to do. And then and this is like a joke thing that somebody put on, but actually makes me think about all the time is like it was this meme where it's like, okay, so I'm sitting with my therapist and they're like, oh, so you think accepting help makes you weak, but would you call Aragorn weak for accepting help from his friends and stuff? And that's like literally what I have to like tell myself is like, oh well, like thinking back onto the Fellowship, and I just love the readiness of when they're like, Frodo finally is like, hey, I don't know where to go, but I'll do this. Like my journey was supposed to end here, but like I will continue to go. And then after he's like the first one to step up, then you have the first follower, which is Sam, which then brings everybody in to be like, oh, and then forming the fellowship. So it's just, it always hits me really hard when they're like, and you have my bow and my axe and all of that stuff. Like, I love these moments so much, and I know you guys love Two Towers because yes, the battle is awesome, and yes, Helm's Deep is cool, and having him come up over the edge. But there's just so many like little seeds that are planted in the Fellowship, and like solidifying like this brothership that follows throughout the whole series. And yeah, this series is amazing because you have this brotherhood and you have all of these things, and you don't have to make it be like there is one relationship which is like Aragon and um Elf Lady, but like it's not really a driving force. And I feel like a lot of people think that you have to have a relationship that is romantic to drive the plot, and in this you have relationships that are friendships, that it's brotherhood and stuff like that, that like pushes everything through and gives people these the will to keep going. And yeah, it has like a lot of like little simple things, and like oh, it's another Gandalf quote that I really like, where he's like, evil isn't won by like these big heroic acts. It's won by like the simple kind deeds that you do every day. I murdered that, but that's like, there's just so many Lord of the Rings quotes that I think of daily, almost daily. And then the soundtrack gets me every single time. And yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. I just really like the relationships in this, and like when I try to explain to people, um, like how I care for people, I'm like, a lot of the times I feel like I'm Sam, and people are like, you really shouldn't, like, I'm going alone, and I kind of feel like I'm the tag along person. It's like, don't worry, I'm coming with you against your will. I'm sorry. um, or at least I hope I'm a Sam. I'd like to think I'm a Sam. But yeah, anyway, so that's why Fellowship beats out the other two. Uh, and I could go off about how I love Lord of the Rings until tomorrow, but um, I won't. It's solidified like my love for fantasy. I've watched this since I was really little. Yeah, it's very quotable in like not just a fantasy setting, but in your real life. And yeah, it always gives me hope watching it.
Well, I
Lauren,
will
I had
say
no
this.
idea. I had no idea that you loved Lord. I didn't know you loved Lord of the Rings. I did not know that about you at all.
I have a
I
freaking
wouldn't have
poster.
guessed. I wouldn't have known. That was dumb of me because I did. I even talked about how cool that poster is, but I didn't know that you had that much love for it, and that's extremely cool. And yeah, I
Mhm.
think a lot of the best quotes are probably from the first movie. Um, and it's magical, and you are totally a Sam. I think that we need to call you Lawrence Samwise.
That's like the biggest compliment.
You absolutely are.
I will say this: Fellowship is the one that has grown on me the most over the years. Growing up, it would be like Two Towers and Return and Fellowship. Like Fellowship is still
Me
good,
too.
but it's just building. But over the years, as those moments, they're a lot more emotional. They hit a little bit harder. You start to understand them a little bit better as an adult. So it is the one that has grown on me the most. I actually don't have any problem with you saying Fellowship is the best. My problem is you saying Two Towers is the worst. That's my problem.
My ranking is Fellowship, Return of the King, and then Two Towers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're wrong.
that's
You're
insane.
just wrong. You're crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I,
Um,
that's
I
insane.
used to have Two Towers and Return of the King on equal footing, but the thing that like I was so dumb that this last time that I watched it, I realized at the end of Fellowship, Sam's reaching up for Frodo, and then in Return of the King, it's Frodo reaching up for Sam, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that just came full circle for me!" And that's what put it over the top.
Yeah,
That is a
see,
good reasoning, I guess, at least.
no, it's not. My ranking is actually Two Towers Fellowship Return. Um,
Hmm.
because Fellowship has grown on me so much. But like, Two Towers has so many good quotes too. It has so many good things.
So,
It has the best Merry and Pippin. It has the best brotherhood moments. It has the best unity moments. It has the best redemption moments. It has the battle and the sound with the rain and the storming of the horses. And
It's
it has
amazing.
Sauron and Saruman. Like, it's just peak. Everybody is in that
I
one.
was gonna say, is it Return of the King where Gandalf rides out with his staff out and like pushes out the Nazgul, or is that in the second?
No, in Two Towers, he rides down the mountain with the other
Okay,
Rohan.
I have to
Yeah,
And
but
say,
there's no
in
Nazgul.
I
Return of the King, he rides out to fight. What? He rides out to the other city in Return, or not
it's
to
when
the
they're
other city,
coming
but
back,
to
he
meet the
comes and
riders.
helps. Yeah, he meets the
Yeah,
riders.
that's Return.
Yeah, that also puts it slightly why I like it more because that's just such a memory.
It is such
But
a good sequence, and I will give you this: Return does have Faramir. He's one of my
I
favorites. He's
like him
awesome.
too.
Uh,
Turn
I'm
is very
changing my
good in
ranking
Faramore.
again. I'm going Two Towers, Return, Fellowship, because Return's ending and the kneeling with the like that breaks every single person.
Yeah,
Yep.
Show me a dry tear during that scene, and I will show you somebody who is not human. They're a cyborg,
heartless.
It's
or
amazing.
heartless.
And the part where I am no man and stabs him in the face is literally like that should be cringe. But it is one of the most epic badass lines of all time period ever.
Yeah, I also like, and I think this is in the extended version where Aragorn pops off the ship, and they're like, where's all our men?" And then the ghosts like come up and swarm over and past him. But yeah,
Very
there's a
cool.
lot of
But in my opinion, the best brotherhood moment is actually where he's like, I might not be able to carry it, but I can carry you. And then he grabs him on his back and runs up a hill. Like, what other better brotherhood moment is there than that? There isn't one. That is the best.
I was I was playing Helldivers, and somebody had like the Hellbomb backpack, and they couldn't figure out how to drop it. And I was like, I can't pick up the Hellbomb, but I can't pick up you, and I like kicked him off the edge. And they hadn't watched Lord of the Rings, so they didn't know what I was quoting. And I was like, oh, we have to rectify that, number one. And number two, makes me not feel as bad for killing you.
yeah, I
It's
gotta
just,
disagree with both of you. The best Brotherhood moment is the fight at Helm's Deep.
Oh, is it where
nah, I like the
you don't tell the
carrying.
elf you're gonna toss me?
Don't tell the elf, and shall I get you a box?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it, it's not as like emotional as those other moments, but
But
like
it's
those are
very
the moments that
brotherhood.
build brotherhoods and not just friendships. And so like that to me is the brotherhood moment, is
Yeah,
when shall I get you a box? And don't tell the elf. Like both Gimli, both iconic, both great, and those are the little moments that really make you buy the ending. Well, it's like I don't want to die next to an elf, and he's like, "What about a friend?" And he's like, I can do that." Like those little moments are what make those bigger moments a hit, and all of those little moments are in Two Towers.
yeah. Well, and that's like what we're saying. Like
It's
we
so
watch
good.
all three together because it's all one story. It's not really like oh. a 1, 2, 3 as normal sequels go, where they have like a beginning and an end for their movies. This is like the Fellowship is the beginning, Two Towers is the middle, and Return of the King is the end. So it is kind of unfair to rank them because it is one just very
Which is
long
why
movie.
I just said all of them.
I know, and I was like, "You cheater!" That's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I would say it's the trilogy. But if I was forced to say which one was my favorite, I would say Fellowship.
Yeah. So,
My Fellowship raised up a lot for me because of one moment where Bilbo is talking and then he says, I'm sorry, my boy, I'm sorry for everything. For some reason that has been on my mind a lot lately. Like, what weight do you pass down to people who are around you? And it's the last 3 months. I literally cannot stop thinking about that scene, and I don't know why. But it's just like constantly on my mind.
well, we did watch Lord of the Rings about 3 months ago.
That's probably it. But it's like ingrained on my mind. I think about it all the time.
They're all great. There really is no wrong choice, except saying Two Towers is the worst because it's just not the worst.
You make it sound like I hate it.
I know, and that's part
It's
of the
just
fun
not
for
the
me.
worst. It's just not.
No.
It's Helm's Deep alone should put it at least number two.
Does it make you
Because
Can
Helm's
you
Deep
name
is
a better fight
period
scene than
the most
Helm's Deep?
epic fight scene of all time. Period.
does it make you feel better that I did animate scene for scene Helm's Deep?
How is it not your favorite then?
Well, because I don't
Crazy.
like I don't rank them on battles.
I know, but they're a part of the movie.
I know.
Yeah, that is the most epic of all epic. Like, it just is. The rain falling on the helmet, like everything about it. It is so, so freaking cool.
It is cool. I agree.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up there. We've talked in a little bit of a circle, so I will cut it off there. Uh, there is our top 10 movies. I cheated a little bit. Lauren's wrong a little bit. Conlon had a pretty good list. Uh, they're all really, really great lists. Thank you, everybody who has listened and or watched. We hope you will continue to do so. Please give us fan recommendations. They made our top 10 or top 11 TV shows lists. They nearly almost made my top 10 list. I'm sure they nearly almost made Conlon's as well. Um, Super appreciate anybody who has watched or, like I said, watched or listened, and um, let us know what the most impactful movies of your life are, and be better today than yesterday. Have a great day, evening, night, whatever, and thank you all. Bye bye.
Hey.